This is Blue Gold News Now, your spot for current events, campus news, and everything in between. Now live from Towers Studio, it's BNN with your hosts, Alex Rubio and Marissa Day.
Good evening, I'm Alex Rubio.
And I'm Marissa Day.
Coming up tonight, we have something a bit different than our regularly scheduled BNN.
That's right, Alex. Tonight we have a Mega Week episode of Epilogue. Tonight we will be showcasing some of our fellow TV10 members' favorite films on our Mega Week episode.
So let's get started here with our first section of tonight, favorite animated films. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Wow. Applause sound effects. It is I, Addison Slate Dayton, full name, and I am the host of Home Screen as well as Movie Enjoyer Sometimes.
I'm Samantha Burnett. I'm a reporter with BNN.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys are excited to talk about your favorite animated films for today. So, Addison, why don't you start us off here?
Yes, I would love to introduce my favorite animated film, which is Howl's Moving Castle, a classic. Came out the same year I was born, in fact, 2004. And if by the end of tonight, you will know all the information you need to hack my credit card account. As you can see, Howl's Moving Castle is a beautiful film by Studio Ghibli. I can speak English. Following the eponymous Howl, who is a cool little wizard in a moving castle, and Sophie, who is that white-haired lady. That's kind of a spoiler, but she's a hat maker that get cursed, and she turns into old lady. Old Lady Sophie? That's the same person.
Well, now you're just spoiling the entire movie.
Well, that's the start of the story. What's it called in storytelling when the inciting incident is her being transformed into old lady?
The call to action.
The call to action. I can't remember the monomyth, but it's a beautiful story, beautifully animated as you'd expect from Studio Ghibli. And there's a lot of reasons why I personally love it. First of all, it's beautiful animation, which makes it nice to look at. But also, I love wizards, and I love magic, and I wish they were real every day of my life. My dream job is to be a wizard. And I love just the voice acting in this great as well. Christian Bale voices Howl.
No, wait a minute.
He does. And he's doing strangely like an American accent, even though in the book, and I think in this universe, Howl is from like Wales, which is where Christian Bale is from.
So why didn't he just use...
I don't know.
Okay, you know what? That's fine.
That's how it rolls.
Too much Christian Bale, they couldn't handle it.
There's too much.
It's like Chris Pratt trying to do an Italian accent.
But Christian Bale is actually a good voice actor, okay? So don't come for him. He's good at his job. And this story, I don't want to spoil too much, but the story of it is great. I say that like I haven't just spoiled everything. The story is good. There's these two warring countries, so there's kind of this conflict, and Hal's kind of playing both sides, but they also kind of know he's playing both sides. And this whole thing of him transforming into a monster. And I love monsters as a metaphor for like being inhumane and how that actually is human, and it's great. I love metaphors. I love allegories.
It's okay, Sam. You don't have to feel scared.
I love metaphors. And Sophie is just an amazing... what's it called? Main character.
All these really hard things to remember
really
about film.
hard terms. She's a great main character as well because she doesn't take Hal's shiz, as the kids say.
Oh, very close.
She doesn't take any of his stuff.
Yeah.
Any of his stuff.
I feel like I'm in kindergarten.
All right, one second. So, okay, about the film,
Yes.
I must know, because Studio Ghibli,
It's hard, isn't it?
apparently,
It's hard to speak.
Studio Ghibli is really well known, like, for their animation all over. Like, but I have to ask, why is the castle flying?
It's not flying. It's Howl's Moving Castle.
It moves,
has
not
legs.
It has legs?
And the door,
Oh.
at the door, you can like pull a cord and it will open to different doors in the world. So it's like the front door is like a teleporter, but it's also a physical location that moves. And it's like very steampunk, which is fun.
It is. It's super cool. You know who I really like that makes me giggle is the interactions between Sophie and Calcifer.
I love Calcifer.
Calcifer is so funny.
I've made a decision just to spoil it, especially when we learn that Calcifer is like Hal's heart. It's so beautiful, you know? It's like that
okay, I don't
connection.
wanna watch
Stop, wait.
Did you not know that?
I'm trying to remember now if I knew
He's
that or
his
not.
heart. Oh, he's kind of like a demon that he gave his heart to Calcifer, who is a falling star that gave him his current form. So, like, really, when she's interacting with Calcifer, she's, like, interacting with Hal's heart, which is beautiful. I love a good love story as well. And they have a very strong one where it's not, like, the main focus, but the love they have for each other is that's not necessarily romantic is, like, key to the story, which I really enjoy. Those stories that aren't necessarily all about romantic love, even if it does end in romantic love. Plus, he's not up here, but I love the straw man. He's just bounces. He's just trying to help, but he can't speak and he doesn't have legs, so he just bounces around. And then he's like, actually, it was a handsome prince the whole time. You're like, okay.
What is this fever dream of a movie?
It's good. It's good though. You need to watch it.
All right. Well, no, it seems like a really interesting movie, and I want to watch more of the Ghibli's collection because they are just so well known.
I really want to watch their newest movie with I was about to say with Chris Pratt. It's not with Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt is not
with the new Batman, Robert Pattinson as the Heron doing that crazy voice. I really want to see that.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your favorite.
You're welcome.
Film. Sam, we'll move on to your favorite animated film.
Yeah, well, I definitely don't have as much to say, but it's just
You don't want to spoil the entire plot?
no, it's just one of my favorite Disney movies. I love a lot of Disney movies, but this one, I don't know, it's really special to me. I think just like the lantern scene, it's really beautiful to me. I love like the music with it, and it's just so pretty. And I don't know, it's just like a funny movie. I love Pascal, and it's just, to me, he's really funny, and the interaction between Rapunzel and Eugene, and obviously the frying pan. It's just it's like a funny, silly movie.
That's my favorite part of the
It's
entire
so good,
movie.
the frying pan.
Because the frying pan combat that went into like another movie. I forget which movie it is, but like it became a thing after Tangled. I feel
Yeah,
like.
Maybe it was
so
Frozen.
funny.
Was it Frozen?
I don't know.
No.
I don't.
I mean,
think
it's
so.
in PUBG, but I don't know if that was that first. That was just
Okay, we're venturing into home
venturing
screen
outside
now.
of Tangled. My apologies.
So we talked about Tangled.
Yeah.
I think the
Yes,
last time
yeah.
we did Epilogue, which is so funny, but it's one of my favorites too. It's
Yes.
super special, and it's one of those movies that I feel like, as far as this was the shift in Disney animation. We talked about that a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah.
and
3D
as
to
far
3D.
as the newer Disney animated ones go, this is one of my top. Like this is my favorite.
sure,
I think
yeah.
they
Probably
did
the
so good.
best.
They knocked it out of the
Yeah.
park
I
on their
think it
first
was.
try.
I don't know if that's a very bold statement.
I think it's better than Frozen.
Well,
I mean,
I would
that's
agree.
just
I would
true,
agree.
but
Wait,
There's other options that are really good as well.
I do like
Yeah.
Encanto.
yes. See, but this one is so good. And Sam, you hit the nail right on the head. Like it is
the
so.
frying pan.
Yes.
Don't hit nails with frying pans, Alex. Come on.
I mean, it would work.
That's
probably.
not the expression. But it's just one of those. It's ingrained in my psyche. It's so. It becomes a part of you. It really does.
The other thing, I don't know if we talked about this last time we talked about Tangled, but it really hasn't aged poorly at all. Like,
No,
it
not at
still
all.
looks amazing to
Yeah.
this day, to be completely honest. And honestly, like, some of the newer animated films are even, like, a little bit like of a step down from this
Like
one.
Megamind 2.
We don't talk about that movie. That doesn't exist. But no, Tangled is such an amazing.
It's just an
selection.
all-around fantastic pick. I can't say anything better. And I can't even I'm looking at the lantern scene and I'm getting emotional.
Exactly.
Do you see it?
Yes. Like
I'm
every time
like-
I watch it, I cry.
I'm like tearing up.
It's
I'm
really
like,
pretty.
It's a great song as well. They
it's
say.
so good. The
Oh, they have
music.
really good music. We haven't talked
Music
about
is
the
so
music.
Yes,
the little
it's so
banger
good.
at the end.
Yeah.
I
Even
can't
just
even.
The
like
villain
the
song,
score.
or when they're
Yeah.
in
The
Yeah.
score is great. The town
score
dance
is
is.
Oh, yeah.
I listen to
Kingdom
that.
Dance is
I
so
love that song.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yes.
Just
We're
a
just
really good
venturing
movie.
into all avenues of TV10. We've talked about PUBG for home screen. We talked about we're venturing
Sounds of
into
the
the
Valley.
score for sounds.
What
like
else do we need?
game show.
Game show.
Stay tuned.
Give us 3 trivia questions about Tangled.
No. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on and talking about your favorite animated films. We
Thank you
really
for having
appreciate
us.
it. Yeah.
And these two might make an appearance a little bit later in our show.
Who
They
knows?
will. But no, what did you think about those two selections?
I mean, I think that they were really awesome selections. Both we love Tangled.
Yeah.
And I think that it's definitely a good pick to have Howl's Moving Castle on there. I'm a big Studio Ghibli fan, so it's definitely something that I think they were both really great picks.
And we'll be having some other guests on that should be coming
Yeah.
on right now, to even saying that I'm really excited to hear about their favorite TV shows. I think is the next one we're moving on to.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to move on to favorite TV
Yep.
shows
Yeah,
super soon, but we're going to wait for our guests to come up
Yep.
here and transition.
They're coming along. But honestly, I'm really glad that we got to talk about Tangled again.
I know.
Yeah, no, it's such a great movie, honestly.
It's one of those.
And just one of those like all-time classics for sure. But Studio Ghibli as well. Really excited
Yes.
about that.
Exactly.
But
Well, I think we're ready to move on to our
I think we
next
are.
segment.
yes, next we have some favorite TV shows to share with you all tonight. So, would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Well, of course. My name is Tristan. Oh, sorry.
Just for Ben's sake.
That's all good. Yeah, my name is Tristan Wiesler. I am a reporter at the BNN, and I'm here to talk about some of my favorite shows and movies.
Yeah, I'm Abraham Hernandez. I'm a former reporter for
Former
BNN.
reporter. What's this guy doing back on
We
me?
miss you.
Yeah, I miss BNN, but I love creative teams
Well,
too.
now you get to be on and talk about some of your favorite TV shows,
Yeah,
so that's exciting.
I love TV shows. They're so good.
All right. Well, Tristan, do you want to start us off with your favorite TV show?
Oh, well, certainly. What comes to mind when I think of my favorite TV
There
show
you
has got to be Love, Death, and Robots. This is an anthology series, with each
yeah.
one created by a different animator. Each episode has a unique animation style and is a self-contained story between 5 and 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
The variety makes each episode a unique experience, kind of like a box of chocolates. You'll never know what you're going to get.
Oh, boy.
Some of my personal favorites are the episode Jibiro, which is the finale of season 3. I don't want to spoil any of these Love, Death, and Robots episodes, so I will just say
They have really cool like twists. A lot
yeah.
of them.
Each episode is based around either one of those 3 concepts: love, death, or robots. Usually, some combination of the 3 taking place. And
That makes a lot of sense now. Now that I'm
Yeah,
thinking
I hadn't thought about
I
that.
hadn't
So
thought
yeah.
about that, dude.
Well-
You're blowing my mind.
Yeah, well, yeah. As it turns out. But no, some other ones. I really love The Witness, which actually ties into my favorite movie. They have a similar animation team, which was the Spider-Verse team. Multiple episodes have been worked on by the creators of Spider-Verse, and you can really see some of the similarities. There's just amazing practical effects, or not practical effects. There's amazing like effects done by the artists. It's just each episode is just so inspired, and it's like there's just like you can go from the Cold War episode where it's like Soviet era Russians like fighting like
The robot bear.
fighting like aliens.
I thought it was the robot bear.
That's from season 3.
Oh,
season,
okay,
in
man, I'm
season
missing
1, Cold War is like they're fighting like these like xenomorphs.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
in season 3, you've got episodes like mini like the mini Rise of the Mini
Yep,
Dead.
yeah, the Rise of the
That's
Mini Dead. That one I was about to bring up. Yeah.
about 5 minutes long, but it's like practical effects, all shot from like a far eagle-eye view of like a zombie apocalypse, like super sped up and super quick. It's just like each episode is like its own. It's its own arc.
Yeah.
Like it's able to wrap itself up quite nicely, and overall, I think it's a really standout show, and I think that regardless of what kind of media enjoyer you are, Love, Death, and Robots 9 times out of 10 will have something that I think you'd enjoy.
Well, and that's the thing about the fact that each episode is different, is the fact that like you can find something that you like inside of them. I mean, one of my favorites is actually the pirate episode where there was like the big crab like inside of there, and they had to like feed the crab over like their entire journey to try and survive. Like the cool thing about Love, Death, and Robots is that it feels like just a bunch of really cool ideas that may have not been able to like fit into like a full movie, but they still wanted to show them and showcase them, so they were able to do it throughout this entire show.
yeah, I remember one of the few. I haven't seen the whole show, but one of the few episodes that I saw was the one with the robots that get to the land that's dominated by cats, and I just remember seeing that episode and like loving it so much, and like the whole thing. I almost said the spoiler, but like it's just such a it's cool concepts that people don't think about on the usual, but that you see in these micro episodes that like you said, it's anthology, so like every episode is different, and it's just so awesome, and I love seeing it all the time.
Yeah.
Marissa, are you like a big fan of anthologies or no? Not really.
It depends. It really depends. But I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where it varies for me. But this is one that I might have to check out, honestly, because it's got such a cool, like, the art styles varying is so
Oh,
cool,
yeah,
and having
yeah.
so much collaborative work is such a special thing. I mean, like, there's some iconic images, right? And then, like, this bottom right corner one is so...
Oh, that's a really
the
good
art
episode.
style is
Oh,
so
yeah.
pretty.
Mhm.
It's so pretty. It's unreal.
They really like flex the animation like skills that they have, and
Yeah.
it's really cool to see. for
It's
sure.
fun to see that, and like you say, you know, there's a lot of different stories. It's got a lot of different arcs and stuff for different people, and wanting different things out of it. It's cool that it kind of adapts over the seasons based on what the animators and the writers want to do with it.
And I think it's still on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it on Netflix?
Netflix
right now?
original, I think.
It is an
It is
it is
a
on
Netflix.
Netflix.
It is a
That's
Netflix.
not ever gonna leave Netflix, which is nice
Yes.
because we all know Netflix.
Yeah.
Used to have Kung Fu Panda,
Among
now
the
it's just
many,
gone.
the many streaming services that people do have, Netflix is one that's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I
And
do
my
not have
TV
Netflix.
10 if you're on campus.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Tristan. Abe, what about your favorite TV show?
Yeah, one of my favorite TV shows that I saw. I remember because it's The Good Place. It's such a good show. I remember that I started watching it when I went to California and I went to Universal Studios, and they still had the sets of the show and they were showing them around, and they showed us a trailer, and I'm like, huh, this is a really cool concept. I'm gonna watch this show. And I remember the pandemic hit as I was gonna start watching the show. And I just binge watched that whole show
Oh,
in
yeah.
like 2 weeks. And like
Oh, the
season-
pandemic for binge
Yeah.
watching.
How many seasons are there, dude?
4 seasons.
Are
When
there
I
4?
started, when I started watching it, season 4 had barely come out, so like it was still pretty recent. And it's such a good show. It's about Eleanor Shellstrop, who we see, the blonde girl over there. She dies, like on the first episode, and she gets sent to heaven by accident. She ends up taking the spot of another Eleanor Shellstrop, who died at the same exact time as her. So I don't know what happened there, but they got mixed up, and the other Eleanor got sent to the bad place, while this Eleanor got sent to the right place, and she knows that, and like this show covers a lot about ethics, which is something that I love because it's not something you see on a sitcom really. So it was a really cool concept. Like they always, especially with Chidi, who is one of my favorite characters, who tries teaching Eleanor to be a good person so that she can earn her spot in the good place, and like she can stay there. Which I'm not gonna say any spoilers, but it's just so good. Eleanor, just seeing her trying to become a better person and be like, I'm not a bad person. I don't deserve to be in the bad place, but I don't deserve to be in the good place either. So there needs to be a middle place for people like us, which is like, it's so funny, and I just love everyone. Like I forgot her name, and she's not in the photo, but the robot, I forgot her name.
Oh,
The robot?
Janet!
Janet, yes,
I love Janet.
Janet
No.
is so awesome. And when the wedding with Jason happens,
Yes!
I was laughing
No, it
the
makes me
whole
giggle.
episode.
I can't even.
I don't know. I just love it. And the architect, and he's such a great actor. And I can't remember neither his character's name or the actor's name.
No.
But like his character, so good. The arc he has throughout the whole show.
He goes through a lot.
Yeah, he goes through a lot, and like I almost said another spoiler.
There's so many spoilers with him.
'Cause, yeah, I'm trying
The
to
danger.
I'm trying to base it all off on the first season because of that huge plot twist right at the end of it.
Yes.
But like, if you haven't watched it, you really should. I think it's still on Netflix.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's still on Netflix. But it's such a good show. It talks about ethics, how to be a good person, and
It is.
how Eleanor fails at that a lot of the time. She's like, I don't even want to do this. Like, I'm already here. What's the point of trying to become a good person when I'm already in the good place? But like I said, it's just such a good show. Some of the best laughs and cries that I've had have been with that episode.
Yeah.
I mean, with that show.
This is one that I've seen, actually. I've only seen through the 3rd season, though. I did kind of die out on it. I couldn't finish it. It got a little too repetitive for me. That's my personal take.
It does get repetitive, but
Yeah.
I feel like they do bring it back up on the 4th season.
See, that's always the bad thing.
especially with the finale. That finale, I was crying a
We'll
river.
see if I go back to it, because there are parts of it that were really, really good. I also think Jamila Jamil's character is so funny.
Yeah.
I think she's hilarious. Like you said, you mentioned Jason in the green tracksuit in
Yeah.
that picture, and he's funny too. I love
him. The whole him being a silent mug, but him wanting to talk all of the time.
Right?
It's so hilarious.
It's so
yeah.
funny.
And the fact that he's a man from Florida makes it even better. From Jacksonville,
It's
Florida.
so funny.
Yeah. He's your typical man from Florida. Always mentioning the Jacksonville Jaguars, which
Yes,
always has me
always.
laughing.
Oh, the architect's name is Michael. It's Michael. Yeah. And it just came to me. It's like in my brain. But yeah, this is one that I kind of watched during the pandemic too. And like I say, I puttered out a little bit on it, but it's one of those that like I think could certainly be super enjoyable. And it's one that I think a lot of people really do love. Like you say, there's really great conversation on ethics and talking about like who might be right, you know, when it comes to theology and like thinking about what happens after you die, you know, and goodness and evil in people and how that's evaluated. And it's really cool commentary on that, really cool social commentary too on the different types of people that there are in our world. It's really a unique show.
It's such a good show, and like if you can, go in watching the show with no spoilers. Like at the beginning when you watch the show, you're like, oh, they're just gonna be going through different topics, every one for 4 seasons. But once you get to the end of the first season, everything goes sideways, and it's just so it's so good.
Thankfully, in that case, you did a better job than Addison.
Yeah, I'm not like
you're all good on that part.
When I came over here, I'm like, I'm gonna try not to say spoilers, because like this is a show that you need to watch without knowing anything about it, because it's really good. And like one of the things I also love the most, it's Chidi's like always questioning everything all of the time. He can't make a single decision ever, and I kind of relate to that up to some point. Not as bad as him, but him, like he like even at times it's like, oh, he can't choose between a muffin and a cookie, and he stays thinking about that decision for hours.
Yes.
Like, which one should I get? Which one should I get? And it's just so hilarious seeing that play out throughout the show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for you guys for sharing TV shows.
I was just gonna say, I don't think me or Alex have seen this show.
I've seen a few. I've seen a few episodes.
You've seen a few. I have not seen a single episode.
However,
However,
the main thing, but yeah.
I did see. There's a cooking YouTube channel called Binging with Babish, and he makes the nachos from this show. And when I was younger, I was like, I gotta make this. So I made my parents take me to the store and get the ingredients, and I was like, I'd never seen the show. I was like, that looks awesome.
You need to give it a chance. It's really good.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Well.
Awesome.
Well, some really good recommendations in this half.
Totally.
But I think that's all we have for TV shows.
Yes. Well, I think we've got one last segment of Epilogue. Don't go anywhere. Epilogue will be right back after this short break.
Hi, it's Addison from Home Screen. And to show you the power of TV 10, I sawed my logo in half. And now with the magic of TV 10, it will come back together. Wow, that sure is amazing. Catch Home Screen every other Wednesday afternoon at mytv10.uwec.edu or on our YouTube channel, UWEC TV 10. I want you to be part of the magic.
Next up, and finally for the epilogue section of this show, we have TV 10's definitive favorite films. So let's get it started. Addison, you're up first.
I'm up first. I'm back again. Well, my favorite film of literally all time, and this is not a joke, is The Princess Bride. I love The Princess Bride. An epic story. I'm getting a lot of nods. An epic story of romance. It's also like a great satire on like romance films. That's also a great romance film, which I think every great satire needs to be a good thing of what it's satirizing at the same time. If you don't know the story, there's this guy and this lady, and they like each other, and then he's presumed to be dead. And then later she gets married off and becomes a princess, and then she gets kidnapped, and then the guy comes back and is like, I'm actually alive. Sorry for spoiling. Listen,
spoiling a movie that's like 30 years old though this time.
This is like
I've never seen The Princess Bride.
Me neither.
Me neither.
Yeah,
come on.
That makes sense for you.
It's
You
not
haven't
too
seen
bad.
any films. You haven't seen any movies.
You made it, you're gonna call me out.
Anyways, he rescues her, and then they go through a little swamp, and then she gets...
Okay, stop spoiling it. I'm going to go watch it later.
Okay. And it's good. And it's framed throughout... It's framed as a story a grandpa is telling his kid.
Yeah,
By the
that
way.
is a fun part.
Which,
Yeah.
in the book is like a fake historical account of a real story. It's like this whole metafiction thing, which I'm a big fan of. So that's really exciting, and they translate it really well to the film. And also, it's got some banger lines. It has "As You Wish," and of course, yes, Alex pointing to it out here.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Great line. I forget the actor's name. I know it. He's on Criminal Minds, or he was for the first 2 seasons. But I forget his name. But the actor of it said he delivered it imagining that he's saying it to the cancer that killed his father. And that's just absolutely a banger.
Dang, dude. Wow.
Yeah, it's a good film.
That's a real mood changer
It's
right
powerful.
there.
It's so powerful because a lot of lesser comedies and satires will never have emotional moments like Marvel movies. But that hot take. It's my turn. It's my turn. But this film, has all the comedy and all the sillies and all the character actors, but there's no comedy of like Inigo's character and his quest for vengeance. There's nothing that like there's no undercutting it of a joke. It's it's played completely earnestly, which I think is really beautiful. Stop laughing.
It is a very good
The
film.
on-air light isn't on. There we go. Just focus on that instead.
Okay, it's a very good film though.
I love it, and
Really
I'm a big
awesome.
fan.
Great choice.
To summarize my full thoughts, it's good, and you should watch it, even if it's spoiled for you.
I love it. Okay, moving on. Abe.
Hey, one of my favorite movies, Everything Everywhere All at Once. This movie is all over the place, but that's why I love it. It won an Oscar. I'll tell you that. It won Best Movie of the Year. It's such a good multiverse movie. It all starts with Evelyn just trying to get her taxes filled out with the IRS for her company, and then it starts going into like a multiversal war with Jobu Tupaki, who is trying to kill all the Evelyns and just destroy the universe. Who, it's not spoiled. It's like within the 15 minutes of the movie, but Jobu Tupaki is Evelyn's daughter, who did experiments on her. But it's just such a good movie of like, don't waste your one life you have. Like, yeah, there's multiple universes about you, but like try focusing on your own life and like it's
here and now.
You focus on the life that you're in now, and it's just such a good movie, and it delivers one of my favorite quotes in a movie of all time. The Ke Kwan's actor says, "In another life, I would have liked just doing laundry and taxes with you," and there's just something about that quote, because in that quote, Ke Kwan's character and Evelyn, they're together in most of the universes, but in this one universe they were not together, and it was like, I wish we would have dated instead of just going our separate ways. And it's the life where they're the most successful, like they both become really famous and rich, while in the lives they're together they're like poor and like trying to file the taxes for their business. But like I said, it's just such a good movie. That Rock
I was
made me
about to ask, like, it sounds like a beautiful movie, like an emotional movie, such a great. Why Rock?
There's it's so good. Basically, there's no life in that universe, so like they took rocks to be themselves, and like my sister and my aunt made fun of me, but I was crying in that scene. I have that rock in my.
Crying over the rocks.
Yeah, I was crying over the
It's got
rocks.
googly eyes.
Exactly, I love
I
it.
love
It
it.
means everything. If you watch the movie, you'd understand.
Googly eyes are everywhere. You'll get it if you see the movie.
I love it.
But yeah, it's such
Well,
a good movie.
great choice. No, it
Really
sounds
awesome
like a
pick.
really exciting movie, and honestly,
is.
I've been wanting to watch it for a while. So
I
I'm
think
really
this one's
excited
on my
to pick it up.
TV10, yes?
I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're getting thumbs up from Lee. Yes, it is.
My TV10, check it out.
Check it out. Woo!
Moving on.
Also on Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
Best Picture.
Sam, I think you're up next with your film.
Yeah, I chose Too Fast, Too Furious. I know a lot of people have their opinions on this franchise. I grew up with it, so I have different opinions, but I just decided to choose this one because, I don't know, I just kind of like it as a filler movie because there's a big, like, year gap between the first and the fourth movie. So it's kind of nice to, like, they go off and highlight Brian or Paul Walker and what he's doing in that gap, and it introduces at least two characters that become like main characters in the previous or the next movies. So I don't know. There's some things I don't like about it, but I do just overall really like the movie. And I don't know. I've grown up with them, so I kind of like them. Yeah.
So is this one actually about racing?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion, well, I mean, some people have different opinions, but I feel like the beginning movies, like the first and the second ones, those ones are a lot more about racing along with other things. And then as they go on, it goes more and more about
like a
family.
Family.
Yeah, so it goes, I know a lot of people make fun of like that part.
Yeah.
And that happens more in like the later movies, where the first and the second one especially, that's a lot more about like racing and
Super interesting. Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like an awesome pick and
Very
definitely one to go back to.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to move on.
Tristan,
Tristan, you're up. Bring us home.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I got to go with Across the Spider-Verse. I know lots of people are big fans of the original. However, for me, I thought that the second one really connected with me more personally. I really, I believe Jason Schwartzman plays the character of the Spot, and I think that he does an amazing job as a villain. I think it's like incredibly, the first movie has Kingpin and it has Dr. Octavia, but I just loved the Spot. I think the animation is just absolutely breathtaking. With over 280 different character models scattered across the film, we can just see here
that's a statistic.
all of the different figures all across the different universes. Similar with the Everything Everywhere All at Once, it takes the multiverse backdrop to really explain or to talk about ideas of responsibility, like challenging your own destiny, the ideas of fate. It has an amazing score by Metro Boom. They've got. Oh yeah, they've got
Metro
the
Boomin.
Metro Boomin. Yeah, sorry.
All good.
They've got, and obviously there's the standouts. There's the standout escape scene. I don't want to spoil it, but that is just where they have all of the different.
Oh yeah, so many
They
Spider-Man.
flex all the character models. They flex the best song.
Yeah, no, that is just a great
Light the
segment.
City Up, I believe it's called. Light the City Up. It's just the best song. It's just amazing animation. Sorry. Amazing. It's got just absolutely breathtaking animation, but it also has like strong, felt, emotional beats. Typically, I would, I would never drag my parents to a Marvel film right now. They'd be so embarrassed. And, but if, independently, I took both my parents to go see this movie just because of, how impactful it was to me. And a fun little tidbit is there actually were different cuts of the movie released to different theaters. So depending on which cut of the movie you watched, you got a different experience, which I saw it twice and saw the same cut, so I was unfortunately
Disappointment.
But highly recommended it, and I do definitely think it was scammed at the Oscars for Best Animated Film. And
Wait, who won?
The Boy and the Heron.
Oh, that probably makes sense though.
Yeah, well, Studio Ghibli fans just a great movie, and also just like was mentioned earlier, Christian Bale also played the main voice in The Boy and the Heron, I believe.
No.
But I think that like Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099 just delivered an amazing performance, and I think it's the perfect movie for a comic book fan, playing on lots of the tropes that have been popularized throughout comic book media. There are many references for fans of Spider-Man. It's like, as growing up a Spider-Man fan, watching the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, not watching the Mark Webb Spider-Man movies, I really watched all of the best Spider-Man content. So just seeing it all come to life in this perfect package, it felt like this movie was just made for me.
It all culminates together.
Exactly, and I think that's what Spider-Verse does so great, and incorporates, a BIPOC hero. I almost said heroine. As in female hero, Abe, but incorporates a really awesome BIPOC hero, and really incorporates makes Spider-Man, more accessible for everybody, and it's a really cool story arc. The Miles Morales arc is fantastic throughout both movies. I'm a big Miles Morales fan, but I think that's everything that we have for movies tonight.
I think that's all we have for Epilogue for tonight, but thank you guys so much for coming on, talking about some of your favorite films, whether that be animated or TV shows. Thank you guys for joining
Thanks for
us.
having us.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Well, thank you guys. Are you going to say thank you, Sam?
Thank you.
Okay, there we go. Now we're
We've
good.
got thank yous from everybody.
All right.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight.
Join us next week for your latest news, updates, and weather.
Make sure to check out TV10 on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I'm Marissa Day.
And I'm Alex Rubio. Thank you, and good night.